First things first, as with any recipe, especially this one, you're going to want to clean your countertops off with a hot soapy rag. Wipe it down with a towel to get off all that moisture. Usually these types of recipes, they're kind of, making dough with a large amount of butter. You're going to use a pastry blender or a Cuisinart to get it all cut up. But we're going to use a box cheese grater here. Make sure you're being really careful as you're grating the cheese. You don't want to cut your fingers there as you're getting down to the nub of the butter. And when you're done, you're going to have a whole lot of grated butter for you to use in the biscuits, so set that aside. With our flour in a bowl, we're going to add in our ingredients. So we're going to put in our baking powder. This is going to help our biscuits to rise. We're also going to add our baking soda, which is a lot less than the baking powder, so this is going to make it spread just a little bit, as well as adding some gas. We're going to add some salt there for flavor. And we're going to add in our sugar, which is going to add some sweetness to our biscuits, as well as to pull in moisture into the dough. And I'm whisking all the ingredients together here just so everything has a great sense of uniformity before I add my liquids and my butter. As you are mixing these together, I like to use a silicone spatula. And you're doing this, from the outside in. It really gets everything mixed together really nicely. Time for our buttermilk to be added. This is going to add our moisture to our biscuits, as well as, because it's buttermilk, it's going to have kind of a sour flavor. It's a cultured milk. Lots of good stuff in there that gives it that tang. And so we're going to also add in our butter at this point. Because the fat we're using is butter, which has a little bit of water in it, when that butter bakes, it's going to have a little bit of steam in it, which is going to give our biscuits even more lift. My favorite kind of recipes are the ones where you get your hands dirty, and you're going to be doing that here in just a little bit here with these biscuits. I start here with my spatula first, just kind of pushing everything together. Now this dough has a really high amount of butter in it, which is a little bit on the drier side, because it was chilled in your refrigerator. So you're just going to kind of mix and push everything together. Mix and push. If you find that your dough is a little bit too dry, you can add a little bit more buttermilk. I'm adding it 1 tablespoon at a time, the way you don't overdo it. When your dough is ready there, you're going to want to touch it, make sure it's the right consistency. And I'm going to sprinkle my countertop here with a little bit of flour so that when I'm working with my dough, it doesn't stick. Once you got your dough out on your countertop, you're just going to kind of work with it. You're not really kneading it so much as just like shaping it into a mound. And from that mound, you're going to make your biscuits. As you're working it into a mound, you can kind of use your hands, kind of press it in there. You want to have it to about 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to prepare my pan here, and I'm going to use some Pam cooking spray just to make it slick so that nothing sticks. The best part, now it's time to cut my biscuits. I don't have a biscuit cutter at home, so I'm using a cup, and I'm going to run it through some all-purpose flour so that as I'm cutting my biscuits, the dough does not stick. I'm going to punch it through there. Got my first biscuit, should pop right out. Place it onto the pan. Now as they're on the pan, they won't spread apart like cookies, so you don't have to have too much space in between them. This recipe makes about 6 biscuits. You're going to set your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And in my oven, I bake them for approximately 18 minutes, adjust as needed. So the biscuits are going to go into the oven there, center rack. I highly recommend you invest in a bench scraper. These are great for cleaning up, especially if you do lots of baking at home. It gets that flour gunk right off the countertops. Biscuits are ready. You can let your biscuits cool in the pan. I'm putting them on a cookie sheet for maximum airflow. You can see the great texture there, the nice golden bottom. That's going to be a great biscuit. It's going to make someone really happy for their breakfast. I don't know about you, but watching this is making me hungry. So I'm going to put on some butter here. I'm going to dress my biscuit up with some butter and, of course, the strawberry jam. There you go, Buttermilk Biscuits.